I just want to let you commissioners know that on Wednesday I will be having back surgery. This is going to require, but I thought it was very important to bring in basically a shadow or a second version of myself to take.
I must admit that it is incredibly disheartening to me as a local creative with ties to the local creative community to see an out-of-town company demand an exorbitant amount of money to replicate efforts that have already been undertaken prior to this grant becoming available to the county.
And I would think that the things that are on here would have to do with voting, and would she not get this grant to do what she needs to do with voting? Because that's what it's for, isn't it? We get involved.
Now, we did attempt to work with the county clerk, and
do we even know who funds it?
Yes, we do.
Who is it, Judge?
Well, you can donations from Mark Zuckerberg, who's the CEO of Facebook. Okay. I won't sit here and debate it because we could, well, I love the way ABM cleans. It's just, they do such a great job, but she has her workers that are already entrusted to do that cleaning. I thought it would be good to do a deeper dive. Those are her parameters.
And cleaning expenses. The cleaning expenses, as you all know, and we have been doing since July when we had our runoff, was we hired an extra poll worker, therefore, for them to clean. And they clean, they sanitize, they clean and sanitize. It worked great in July, it works great now. Now, I got an email on Monday from Tyner saying that y'all had worked out a deal with ABM and that there were cleaners in the 3 polling places for a deep clean. That's illegal. You can, and one of the people from ABM tried spraying directly on the equipment. Now I ask you, you didn't talk to me, you didn't ask me what kind of cleaner they needed. You didn't tell me that people were just walking into our polling locations. That's a bystander. They're loitering. They're not there for me. I did not instruct them to be there. I did not hire them. They did not have approval. They did not have authorization. They were just hanging out in a polling location, trying to spray the equipment. There was no training on how to take care of the equipment.
We like putting things on the agenda because I think it's important for you to have awareness to it.
I cannot see spending $230,000 for signs because they got Spanish on them or because of whatever. The thing is, I asked Maria who got the grant, and I think Kara went after the grant, I guess, right, Maria?
No, she did not go after the grant. Maria, you were out with your granddaughter the day that your granddaughter was born, and you need to ask Natalie who got the information that the grant. I signed the grant application and I submitted it because Kara refused to do so.
And the main purpose of it said the grant must be used exclusively for the public purpose of planning, operation, safety, and secure election administration in Nueces County, which we're already doing. It also says here, 1 through 6, that the guarantee has indicated that the amount that the grantee, that's what I think Kara indicated, the amount that the grant shall be expended on the following specification of election administration needs: ballot drop boxes, drive-through voting, election department, real estate costs or costs associated with the satellite elections, poll workers, polling places, election day temporary staffing. So this is all about elections. It's all about elections. And the grantee shall use any part of this grant to make grant to another organization, which I think this is the best part of it, because we could work with all the school districts and save them money, because they don't have the money either. But we can work with the school district and save them money, and by us paying the poll workers, we don't have to take it out of our account or budget, because I think that's where they come from in the budget, general account. So we don't even have to touch that because we're going to use that grant money. So, and it's got to December 31st to use whatever you need to use, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of work after the election. Clean all the equipment, clean everything you need to clean. So I just think this grant is for elections. It should have stayed in elections to start jumping, and I cannot see paying crosswinds of one individual.
It's not one individual. It's the media buy. The media buy is the bulk of it.
Paying somebody, paying them $220,000 for something that we're already doing, and we've been doing.
want more. I'm sad today. I am sad today at the rock bottom price of $12 an hour. This no longer.
I got a county attorney's opinion.
Let me finish, all right? It's a fine line here. I know it's a pandemic. Money, is trying to spend money and ratify, you know, and I don't agree with that. I mean, I hate the word ratify.
Court, but the Attorney General's already ruled on this, and she'll be happy to give you a copy of that opinion as well, but
And I think this should have been made through the county clerk, and I think the funds should have gone to the county and let the county offset some of the costs that the county clerk is already doing instead of giving it to someone outside anyway. So I'm trying to figure out why that wasn't done, so I'd like county clerk to.
before this is a project that's being tackled from a COVID-19 perspective. However, she did not want to use taxpayer funds, go that route. She did not choose to go that route.
And that's all I wanted to hear was from her.
Yeah.
I mean.
Right, but the point is that she obviously has nothing to do with the ratification of this contract. We're gonna disagree, so let's move on.
No,
We're gonna move on.
I'd like to hear how this went down from her perspective.
I would love to.
Okay, well,
Thank you for
excuse me
bringing
one second,
that up.
please. Belinda, we've asked, I really don't believe there's jurisdiction in this matter, and whether we go on for another hour, if there is a problem, I would ask that you refer to the county attorney.
Because I'm asking, and I'm a member of the commissioners board, I'm asking, this is an agenda item, this is posted, this is public thing, this isn't a jurisdiction.
It is a jurisdictional issue.
It's on the
It is.
agenda, and therefore the jurisdiction means we can discuss anything that's posted on the agenda. We may not be able to do anything about it, but we have lots of discussions where we don't do things about it.
But the
I'm asking as a member of the Commissioners Court to let her respond to the allegations you made against her today.
What was the
in this
allegation?
court.
That I
That she-
signed the document?
No,
I
that
did
she
sign
didn't
the
want to
document.
participate and that she didn't, I'm just wanting her to be able to
And what I'm
speak.
saying to you is that the county clerk and I, okay, have had this rapport on email, in person. We had scheduled meetings, we talked on the
So why
telephone.
can't she talk? I just want her to be able to answer so we can move on. I mean,
Because I think that you're inviting a political discourse that's unnecessary. It's unnecessary.
it was put on the agenda and you made allegations that she did some things wrong.
I didn't
and
make any allegations. In the course of
Yes.
discussing the process, I said I signed the grant. And the grant was signed by me.
You stopped Maria midterm because she was telling you what went down and you disagreed with Maria and said Kara didn't do this, and it's hard for me to follow. I
What
just
does
wanted.
it matter is what I'm asking you, Brent. What does it matter at this point? We're trying to.
Was telling you what went down and you disagreed with Maria and said Kara didn't do this, and it's hard for me to follow. I
What
just
does
wanted.
it matter is what I'm asking you, Brent. What does it matter at this point? We're trying to promote
matters to
voters
me.
have to.
It matters to me
What
because
issue?
I'm going to tell you. It matters to me because I don't believe this falls under the emergency category. Therefore, I believe this court should have had a right to discuss it, and this is the only time that we now have the right to discuss it.
Thank you.
And this is when the time is to discuss it in a public venue, posted on notice, posted in a public venue. And all I'm asking is the head administrator of elections, who is the county clerk, she's the expert on elections. She's the one who runs elections, and we're talking about elections, and we can't let
No,
her
we're not talking about elections. We're
this
talking
is an
about
election thing. It should have gone-
COVID-19
and
public health.
I think it should
Brett?
have all gone through her.
Brent, we appreciate that. You asked an awesome, you just stated a really
So I
good
just
point.
wanted
Hold
to
on one
answer.
second.
Can she just
The
talk?
point, wait a second. The point that you just made has been addressed by our county attorney in an opinion that was written. I'm now gonna ask Belinda. He's asked a perfect question. You addressed this very issue as to whether or not, before I signed this agreement, I contacted your office, Tyner contacted your office, and we discussed the 418 powers and whether or not this would apply. Could you please inform the court as to what it is that you informed me?
So Judge, just as a clarification, I think you spoke directly with the county attorney on
The
this
county
matter.
attorney.
So I wasn't really involved, and unfortunately,
Okay.
she didn't quite brief me, but I did understand that she pushed, and I think you spoke directly with the county attorney on
The
this
county
matter.
attorney.
So I wasn't really involved, and unfortunately,
Okay.
But the way I see this is that the judge is putting these items on here so that we have clarity, so we know what's being done. I know From what I understand, it happened before we had a court meeting, or immediately after a court meeting, so we couldn't get it on the agenda. And from what I understand, it happened before we had a court meeting,
We're arguing about a messaging campaign with dollars that came to this county from a private organization, and we are using these to help public health, promote public health. And that's really what this is all about. Welcome. When you actually make a media buy, you get higher concentration of folks listening to your message. You don't get the 2 o'clock in the morning slot like a lot of PSAs. You get the primetime spots. So I think it's very, very important that people hear it and see it.
So I'm not sure who submitted the grant, but submitted the grant with things for ballot drop boxes, which we don't have drop boxes in the state of Texas. Drive-through voting. Drive-through voting is illegal in the state of Texas. The elections department real estate costs associated with satellite election department offices. That doesn't apply to us. There's several things on here that don't apply to us, and when you applied for the grant, I guess my concern is you applied for it stating that we were going to use it for these items, and we're not. The cleaning expenses, as you all know, and we have been doing since July when we had our runoff, was we hired an extra poll worker, therefore for them to clean. And they clean, they sanitize, they clean and sanitize. It worked great in July, it works great now. Now, I got an email on Monday from Tyner saying that y'all had worked out a deal with ABM and that there were cleaners in the 3 polling places for a deep clean. That's illegal. You can, and one of the people from ABM tried spraying directly on the equipment. Now, so on August 11th, I received a proposal from Thomas Graham for voter education, okay, for $48,000. That was in August 11th. Okay, I'm not doing that. I was not going to pay taxpayer dollars for $7,500 a month for media relations and social media strategy. I'm sorry, that would have been $15,000 a month for that. We have, and that's when I decided to go out and get local people, get Heidi, get other local talent. We can do this. I just can't do that. I can't spend that money. And the proposal was for $296,000. Okay. All of these things added. Now, if you compare the two, the fees, the first one in August 11th, approximately an 8-page newsletter, content and design, $5,000. On October 7th or October 9th, same line item, approximately 8-page newsletter, content and design. Gee, it's $20,000 now. Pastor was. Judge, he told me it was hiring young people to go into senior centers and assisted living facilities to tell them about the election. I'm just telling you, on October 9th, takes my name out of the proposal, inserts your name, and then all of a sudden, it's COVID all over it. COVID wasn't the theme. And so when I said, no, we're doing this, you're duplicating these services, we don't need to do this, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not going to agree that you get, with $300,000, he takes the same proposal, writes COVID all over it, and then gives it to you, and then boom, under emergency management, you can sign it. And you know what? And
This is great. This is free money. By the way, Harris County, they got $9 million. Dallas County got $15 million to do the same type of thing. I don't think that your proposals indicate the media buys, which are the crux of our proposal that we signed on behalf of emergency management. The media buys as in the local TV ad time, the radio time, and the digital and social media platform time. That's where the crux of it is. Kara, I've been running emergency management. I'm really very proud of our team. I didn't circumvent it because I called the county attorney immediately. And also, Kara, I've been running emergency management. I'm really is that incident command is established in Nueces County under the governor's disaster order. Excuse me, one moment. Public Health Director Annette Rodriguez actually outranks me. She is the person that runs public health messaging. And Director Annette Rodriguez actually outranks me. She is the person that runs public health messaging.